Hey everybody, this is Skeptic Steve coming at you with another video. Today I will be showing you guys some analysis on why it is that Trump's immigration plan could be detrimental to our economy, and just kind of gauge my reaction to this. I'll be honest, I watched this video, it's bullshit. I mean, as you should have kind of expect, because, I'm going to be going over it, so yeah, it's bullshit. Let's just go ahead and just cut right into it.
What would America look like if Donald Trump's immigration proposal came true?
The U.S. has become a dumping ground. We need to build a wall.
So, right here, those two positions, U.S. has become a dumping ground, and we need to build a wall, are 2 points that need to be addressed here in this video, because that is basically, his point, or his, I would say, the fact that the U.S. has become a dumping ground, according to Donald Trump, is his motivation, and the wall is part of his solution. So I hope those two things get addressed. I've watched the video, and guess what? They do not get addressed at all.
I want him to go out, but I want him to come back in legally.
It would become a disaster with ripple effects across the entire economy.
If you're saying this as a direct response to him saying that he wants legal or lawful immigration to be a thing, then the position you should be advocating should not be, oh, you know what, we should just go ahead and continue accepting unlawful immigration, but rather, let's go ahead and reform our immigration policy. And if you came out and said that, I'd agree with you. I would agree with you 110%. Our immigration policy is fucked, and what immigrations are able to do to this country is fucked. And it's not me saying that every immigrant is necessarily a bad person. It is saying that, unfortunately, that we're in a predicament where unlawful immigration does horrible things to the country. So, yeah, as it stands, lawful immigration isn't that problematic in of itself. So to stand against that is just mind-blowingly stupid.
Fast food counters would close, as an estimated 11% of all food preparation and serving jobs are held by unauthorized immigrant workers.
11%, eh? You said fast food counters, so let's go ahead and just kind of pretend, because this is very vague when you say all food preparation and serving jobs, because you specifically said fast food counters. So we take that into perspective. Let's go ahead and pretend that it's like franchise locations of McDonald's, for example, that are going out and hiring illegal immigrants. Well, McDonald's is a highly, highly, highly profitable corporation rather, that would be more than capable of paying like $10 an hour to American citizens that would also respond with an income tax that would go ahead and benefit, absolutely benefit, the current economy. So I don't understand the argument here.
Fruits and vegetables would rot, as 26% of the farming, fishing, and forestry industry is comprised of unauthorized immigrant workers.
Neat. So, regarding that, this could have a negative impact. I will actually give you some credit here. You are correct that there is a lot of, and I mean a lot of, illegal immigration that's involved with, farms, like you said, specifically farms. So, yeah, there's a bit of a problem there. But, on the bright side, if we take farming in particular, what's kind of good about this is that this might help advocate more local farmers markets and stuff like that to kind of go on the rise. So, there you go. Just put that into perspective. That's not terrible, right?
Home improvement and construction projects would stall, because an estimated 14% of all construction and extraction jobs are held by unauthorized immigrant workers.
That, right, to me, I'm not in the construction trade, but a lot of what I currently do is related to a skilled trade. So this, to me, is pretty fucking offensive. There's a lot of people that work hard to go ahead and get an education in this field. And I'm not saying that 100% of illegal or undocumented citizens that are going ahead and taking these positions are unqualified or are unskilled. But you have to take into consideration that a lot of them likely are not as good as their trained counterpart in the United States. It is completely unfair that corporations would actually take advantage of not only these undocumented workers, but of a system that allows them to do so. It is bullshit that people would go ahead and get education in this field and then just have their job turned down because they want a fair fucking wage. No, this is not okay at all. People that do actually go ahead and they get a bunch of certificates or whatever the hell, and they become like a master carpenter, whatever the fuck it's called, licensed carpenter, excuse me, deserve to make a reasonable wage in that field. They don't deserve to have their job turned down in favor of an undocumented citizen that will accept the job for less money when they have considerably less qualifications. So you, sir, are a dick.
Prices for lettuce, spinach, and strawberry would go up.
Wow, Social Security to also take it. I'll go over this in a second, but as far as the prices rising on the vegetables, my argument there is kind of going to go into play what he's going to say next. When you actually, if you were to go ahead and replace these workers with, citizens that would pay a federal income tax, they're actually then making a contribution to our economy. So right off the bat, that's good, and that's going to help reduce the rate of inflation because you have a higher rate of contribution.
Social Security would also take a hit. Undocumented workers contributed $13 billion in payroll taxes to old age, survivor, and disability insurance in 2010.
Citation needed. You did not state where you got that information from at all. And I'm inclined to, not believe that at all. And, I'll explain why when he goes into his next point.
They use about $1 billion in benefits, so that nets to a $12 billion contribution that wouldn't exist if you deported them.
Utilization does not mean contribution. Where the fuck are you getting that from? I can't think of an effective analogy, but, it's just so goddamn stupid. There's nothing even analogous to that. That would be almost like saying driving your car is making a contribution to its maintenance in of itself. It's not. That's just using the car. That's not fucking maintaining it. Using benefits does not automatically equate to maintaining that benefit system. And again, the only tax that undocumented citizens are probably going to go ahead and pay are state sales tax or consumption tax, whatever the hell you want to call it. Which is honestly not going to be that good. Those brackets are typically low, so it's not really effective. It's not going to make a really reasonable contribution for these benefit systems.
Undocumented immigrants in California make up nearly 10% of the state's workers and contribute $130 billion annually to its gross domestic product. Not to mention, by one measure, it would take about 20 years to find and deport that many people. That's 650 busloads every month for 2 decades. So if you want your entire economy not to collapse, perhaps think twice about deporting all undocumented immigrants.
Aha. I've been waiting for him to get to this point here. Trump actually recently reclarified his position to kind of explain that his end goal is to not really get rid of every single undocumented immigrant, but more or less those that are criminals. And I can actually kind of understand why it is that people would think that he insinuated all immigrants, but yeah, he did recently reclarify his position. Who the hell knows whether or not that's going to be a real thing? I don't fucking know. No one knows. But yeah, the benefit is, like, if he does indeed just choose mainly criminals to deport, then you're giving these other undocumented immigrants a chance at naturalization, which would be fantastic, absolutely fantastic. They have a few methods. They could go ahead and maintain, residence for a certain period of time that eventually apply for citizenship. Another way could be they could marry somebody here in the United States. There's a couple other ways that, unfortunately, I'm not an expert in that subject, but you get my point. If he's just deporting criminals, that's fantastic, because our prison systems are like way overfinanced. We're spending too much money, and I'm sorry, if you're not from this country and you're committing a crime that is worthy of deportation, then just fucking leave the country, because we, as taxpayers, shouldn't have to pay for your misdeeds. It's that fucking simple. I'd rather just you be deported, and then you think twice about coming back and breaking fucking laws that we've already set in place. Is that not fair? I think that's fair. The taxes, like I said, prisons are expensive. It's a problem. One more thing I wanted to address, as you can see, he did not address it, was the wall. The wall, I fundamentally disagree with the concept that, oh, it's going to go ahead and keep immigrants out. No, it's probably not going to be that effective. At the same time, I don't agree with an open border. I think that's, way worse. But the good news with the wall is it would be a public works project. So building a wall by default would create American jobs. Financing the materials for the wall, that's a whole nother concern. And that's a reasonable concern. There's plenty of rationale to be against the wall for that reason alone. But, at least it would create some goddamn jobs, and it would create public workforces that would go ahead and, maybe start rebuilding infrastructure. So, that's good. There's a benefit to that. Yeah, I just wanted to, kind of address that wall. There's really no more meat to this video, as you can see. That's it, just credits. So basically, I'm done here. I do appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, go ahead and share it with your friends, and you guys have a great rest of your whatever the hell it is in your area.